get started. Today, unfortunately, we have to impose some reality. If you remember last time, we got to have fun and just talk about what we wanted without worrying about what we could afford. Today, we have to start talking about what we can afford. And so today, we're going to talk about budget constraints. So let's start with the basics of how we construct a budget constraint. So the first step we're going to make here, and this is an assumption we're going to make until like the fifth to last lecture of the class, is we're first going to assume that people's income equals their total consumption. That is, there's no savings in our model. So basically, whenever I give you income, you spend it all. There's no savings, also no borrowing. You can't spend above your income. Now, of course, in practice, that's not true, although in fact, that's the way, quite frankly, about 90% of Americans live. Most Americans have very little savings besides their house and their pension at work. In terms of just actual savings in the bank or in a mutual fund or something like that, very, very few Americans have real large savings. So actually measuring people as having their total budget equal to total income is not a terrible approximation to the way that most Americans live. Nonetheless, it is an approximation. We'll come back towards the end of the semester and talk about how we model savings decisions. But for now and for the time being, we're going to assume budget equals income. So let's go back to our situation we talked about last time. You're here at MIT. You're deciding between pizza and movies. But now you have some budget. And that budget is that your parents have given you amount of income Y. Your parents have given you Y. That's an amount of money they've given you. And you have to decide how to divide that between pizza and movies. So you have to face the budget constraint that your income can be spent on movies, the number of movies times the price per movie, plus the number of pizzas times the price per pizza. Okay? And that is your budget constraint. Okay? You can spend your income on movies, which is the number of movies times the price per movie, or pizza, which is the number of pizzas times the price per pizza, or some combination of the two. Okay? So we can graph that in figure 5.1. Okay? Figure 5.1 shows the budget constraint. If you choose to spend all your money on movies, you can have Y over PM movies and no pizzas. If you choose to spend all your money on pizzas, you can have Y over PP pizzas and no movies, or some linear combination in between. And the key feature of this budget constraint is its slope, which is the negative of the ratio of the price of movies, the good on the x-axis, to the price of pizzas, the good on the y-axis. So the slope is the negative of that price ratio. Okay? And we are going to call this, so basically what we're saying is we're going to call that the rate at which you can essentially trade off pizza for movies and vice versa. Now, really, of course, as I mentioned last time, you're not really trading pizza for movies. Okay, it's not really trade you're making. But the key point is, given a fixed budget, when you allocate that budget across pizza and movies, you're effectively making that trade. Okay? In other words, this comes to the concept that we'll talk about throughout the semester, the concept of opportunity cost. Okay? When you consume a pizza, you are forgoing the ability to consume some movies, given your fixed income Y. And that's the opportunity cost of the pizza. Technically, opportunity cost is defined as the value of the next best foregone alternative. So the opportunity cost is the value of the next best foregone alternative. Here you only have two alternatives, movies and pizza. So the opportunity cost of eating pizza is the value of the movies you can't see. Likewise, the opportunity cost of seeing movies is the value of the pizza that you don't get to consume. Okay? So let's consider an example. Imagine that imagine your parents give you $96 in income. Okay, let's call this a month. Your parents give you $96 in income. The price of movies is $8. A little bit unrealistic, but we'll take it. The price of pizza is $16. You like a nice pizza, okay? So basically, what that means is you have a choice of buying 12 movies and no pizzas, 8 pizzas and no movies, or some combination in between. Okay, now of course we're imposing discreteness here. You can't have half a pizza and see half a movie. Okay, so we're just going to look at discrete combinations. Despite the fact we'll draw this budget constraint as linear, obviously it's not continuous. It's discrete in this case. But just sort of ignore that for now. Typically we'll think about continuous cases. Okay, so you have some combination of these that you can buy. And the key point is that for every pizza you buy, you can get 2 fewer movies. For every pizza you buy, you get 2 fewer movies. And that leads to the slope of the budget constraint of -0.5. Okay? For every pizza you buy, you get 2 fewer movies. Okay? Or for every movie you buy, you get a half less of a pizza. Okay? And we're going to call this ratio, which is the minus the price of movies over the price of pizza, we're going to call this the marginal rate of transformation. You remember last time with the marginal rate of substitution, that was the rate at which you desired to trade off pizza for movies, staying indifferent. The marginal rate of transformation is the rate at which the market allows you to trade off pizza for movies. So marginal rate of substitution is about your tastes. It's about the rate at which you desire to trade one off for the other. The marginal rate of transformation is about the market conditions. It's the rate at which the market allows you to trade off one for the other. And once again, we're not literally trading them. We're simply, by buying one, we have the opportunity cost of not buying the other. Or actually, technically, by buying a pizza, we have the opportunity cost of missing 2 movies. And likewise, by seeing a movie, with the opportunity cost of not consuming half a pizza. Okay? So in some sense, that's the rate at which the market allows you to transform. It's like alchemy. You're transforming pizza to movies, but you're doing it through the market, through the price you pay, through the fact that when you consume one, you don't have enough money to consume the other. Okay? Question about how that all works. Yeah?
You're talking about opportunity cost. You said the value of the next best horizontal alternative.
Right.
That value, is that monetary value or more like that utility kind of value?
That's a great question. Ultimately, it's going to be when we think about opportunity cost in utility terms, it's going to be the utility of the next best alternative. That's a great point. But in general, it's a concept which you can apply in both contexts. So technically, we'll think about utility value. But here, if we think about opportunity cost in a budget constraint sense, it's the dollar value. Good question.